All right, guys, Kevin here. I got AJ in the back. Wait, AJ.
Hey.
All right, got Meril over here, and we are getting ready to go to our monthly meeting that we have at the Mexican restaurant up in Tunnel Hill. And we're doing a little video series here on the road. And we're going to get pulled out here. And the topic today, guys, I think it'd be great to talk about is the independent film scene community here in Dalton. You know, and it used to be really big. Actually, I'm going to back up. I don't know why this person's parked like this.
I know, right?
We're going to go the other direction.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a little crazy right there.
Ready, set, go!
So come inside, let's see what madness we can find. Come on. Split the hoe. So guys, AJ, if I'm not mistaken, it was probably the mid to late 80s when Jeff Burr and Mark Hanna were doing independent film work around this area, and the Arts Guild was funding some of that stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So you got any input on that from back in those days?
Well, I just think they were all well-connected families. And Alan Poston was a big part of it, too.
Yes.
That was
And he was part of the Mark Hanna's Hand Post, right?
Yeah.
Hand Post Productions. Yeah, Mark was the Hanna, and Post was the... And then, if I'm not mistaken, he still lives in California, correct?
Yeah, and I think he is doing film editing.
And and what was his first name again?
Alan.
Alan, that's right. Yeah. He actually, I don't know if you remember or not, but when we came out with number 3 movie, Legend of the Black Cross, we had the big debut at the Trade Center. He actually came down for that. So he
really?
He was there in the audience watching that night. So yeah, no, Mark called and told him about it, and by Georgia, he flew over here and came to it. So I thought that was a really big deal, him coming out and doing that. Oh, these red lights here do not ever change.
But yeah, 3 people that were just contemporaries, I think all 3 at Dalton High, and, went on to be somewhat significant and successful in the film industry.
Well, Jeff, worked on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Pumpkinhead 2, Puppet Master 4 and 5.
Land of the Lost.
And then the Land of the Lost TV series in 91. And then he came back to Dalton to do From a Whisper to a Scream. And that's where Meril here got to work on that project, helping out with some of the special effects stuff.
Yeah,
Meril, tell us a little bit about that little adventure there.
It was wow. To say the least, but
because you had to work with the California crew, right?
Right. So I was working as a groundsman for World Carpets, but I've always been interested in special effects makeup. At that time, I was engrossed in it. But Walt Culberson was there. He asked me. He said, Meril. He said, they're going to do a movie here. I said, no. I said, tell me about it. He said, he said, there's supposed to be a crew, and David Shaheen was part of, production on the production deal on that thing.
I didn't see this stupid thing.
David Shaheen was part of the production on that, the whole deal there. So it.
And then they set up the equipment down there in the basement or something like that.
It was. I didn't know that Jeff and his brother was doing a movie or whatever, but I was down in the basement one day and I seen all these guys sitting around on boxes, and I said, what are y'all doing here? He said, we're from Berman Studios out of California. I said, for real? Because Thomas Byrne did the Goonies, and
right.
all that stuff. You know, he was a.
So what are the chances of you working
I
there?
don't know. I don't
mean,
know.
that's one in a million to just go down there and boom, the one thing that you're obsessed with. There they are in the basement where you work.
Struck by lightning.
But that's one of the greatest things I have to say about when I moved to Dalton. I didn't think much of it because I come here my whole life. But I have met some of the most talented people, whether it be comic book industry, whether it be the film industry, actors, directors. It's just amazing at the talent that grew up here.
For real,
Yeah.
for real.
I mean, how many people I probably didn't say, AJ? I mean, what's the guy's name that worked on these soap operas? Lane? Ain't that his name? His first name's Lane. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah, he did Santa Barbara or something like that. So, but there's just several things and major people that's come out of this town and stuff. And that's one of the reasons I got hooked up with Mark Hanna, who introduced me to Jeff, and then it was Mark Hanna who pushed me to write the very first ever Paranormal Chaser script.
Right.
And I already was working on the comic book, and then he pushed me to do the comic, and then that's when I went to AJ and said, hey, I'm doing this. Can I put it in your store? And AJ put it in the store, and AJ's kind of been involved ever since. And that was back in 2004, which, my God, that's 21 years ago. And AJ, what was the year we came out with the first film, AJ? Was it 2014? Was the first one, was it not? I'm thinking it's 2014 when the first film come out. So 10 years doing 9 comic books. Then we finally come out with our first film.
Yeah, it was 20. I think it was.
And we did 3 the first year. Because Meril, if you remember, I was at Meril's. Meril taught me how to edit film, ladies. I never. If you would ask me 12 years ago, would I ever be an editor? I would have told you, hell no. No, I wouldn't. That is not my thing. But Meril sat me down and stood over my shoulder and said, all right, what do you want to do? And I told him what I wanted to do. And then he said, all right, push this button. And that's how we did it for months.
Well, Vegas.
11 back in that day, I think it was. So
Vegas was, it's complicated in a way, but it's not complicated.
Right.
But once you learn all the bells and whistles of it, you just go through it. And
turbulence here.
So Kevin was wanting to edit, and so tell him what happened to all your.
Oh my God! Well, here he is. First project. We're in there about a month doing this, and then next thing you know, my external hard drive just burned all the crap. And so we had roughly, I think, 45 minutes worth of footage, and that whittled down to, luckily I had some second copies of some stuff down to 7 usable minutes, I think, or 7 or 11. So we lost basically more than 3/4 of our movie. So when that happens, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's ever happened to, we were brought to 2 decisions. All right, that's a sign from up above to never do this. I need to get out of it. Or I had to go and refilm. So when I went back to refilm, that's what I decided to do. The smartest thing I did was, since a lot of that footage was kind of about a year old at that time, I decided to make all that footage the backstory. So everything that we filmed was new stuff, and then we set that stuff, I think, 2 or 3 years in the past, AJ? I think's what we did. Something like that. And then kicked it back a couple more years. And it worked. I mean, it gave, and we added new people to the story since then. And it just able to broaden and make the story that much bigger. And I think, AJ, and then we brought in Santiago. And what kind of a difference do you think that made, AJ?
Oh, that was big, having somebody who has worked as a professional and had
his connections and his advertisement.
Yeah. And he's a fantastic personality.
Yes, he was so easy to work with.
Yeah. He makes friends quickly.
Yeah. And if anybody don't know, his name was Santiago Cirillo. He was His name was Julio in The Walking Dead, and I think he was in season 4. He was one of the guys in the jail cell, but like AJ said, this had this amazing personality. He's just, when he walks in the room, you know he's there, because what does he say, guys? Hi-ya! I mean, you know he's there. So, but I think what that really did for us in the community, when we started, we held that thing at the community center.
Right.
And you remember?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know it was going to go over that great. But we had people coming out the yin yang.
Oh yeah, we was flooded, man. I mean, so many people showed up at the community center, and then when we need some
studio too,
and
man.
at the studio, we had a little bit of a call casting because we wanted a whole lot of vampires, so we needed a lot of extra bodies, but we was looking for some extra people to help with like extra hair and makeup, because Meril had pretty much. I know hair and makeup as well. But you can't do everything. So luckily I had Meril, so with him there, but still, when you got to make up 40 vampires, one person is not enough. So we got to meet a few of the people. They came in, we found some talented people and got to work with them, and this had a blast. I think on our first filming at Prater's Meril, number 1.
Oh my God.
We all froze to death. I don't know if
It was all night, 2 o'clock.
Oh my God! And it was. I think the weather was supposed to be in 56 degrees. What was forecasted? Well, this emergency cold front comes in, and we started the evening off at 27 degrees, I think it was, and it dropped down to 17 degrees when we wrapped up filming at 2 a.m.
And Jeff showed up.
Yeah, and Jeff showed up. And Mark Hannon.
Mark Hannon showed up.
Yep,
too.
Mark and him both showed up, and we had David and Daniel, the guys that done the black belt karate.
Oh yeah, right.
So we had 2 world champion karate guys. You know, just also 2 great personalities on both of them. And here, that was the crazy thing. I only met David and Daniel probably 3 or 4 times before that night filming, and me and David were supposed to have a fight scene. Here we are, me and him has never done anything together, choreography or anything, and here we are at 1 o'clock in the morning filming a fight scene, and buddy, we're clicking out there like we've known each other for years. So, but that just was the testament to his professionalism and his great attitude and this talent that he brought that night. You know, and I done my best to keep AJ close to the hot chocolate the best I could that night. And didn't Melody bring us have hot soup in a cup, if I'm not mistaken?
I think so, yeah.
I think she had the hot chicken noodle soup. Boy, I'm out there directing with no gloves on, and luckily Melody was my nurse. She goes, you have to stop. It's time for you to drink something hot right now.
Yeah.
So,
Melody is so good.
Melody was a lifesaver. And and then y'all gonna be seeing some more of her. We're getting ready to be close to the restaurant, guys. But the whole reason me and the guys have gotten back together on a regular basis is we're getting back into filming. We're creating a new game, bringing some of the old members back, but we're getting ready to release movie number 5 and number 6. We're finishing up the special effects on number 6. Me and Meril's got some green screen work, and then we're going to be putting all this stuff up 1 through 6 on YouTube somewhere here in the near future. And right now we already got a little teaser. We went ahead and throwed a part 1 through part 4. A little we want to do some comedy stuff. And it was also a test on doing filming with a dual camera. You can see that on YouTube on Artist Kevin Sexton right now. And that's going to be our new kind of our Blair Witch kind of a style format is what we're doing. There's something that feels more live, more into, when you're trying to do these movies and you're trying to have 3 different camera angles and try to have all this polished, over-polished editing and stuff, it's a damn headache from hell, I'm here to tell you. Not to be ugly, but you have to have this massive crew to pull it off. And AJ and Meril here will tell you, we've been there, we've done that. Until we get a massive crew, we're not going to do that again. We want this to be fun, because we all love this, and you have to love it to be sitting here talking about it and doing it 21 years later. You know, and we've been filming now for 11 years. So that's a testament to what we're doing and the story. And if it wasn't for people like AJ and Meril and Lonnie, who plays Chase, who plays Lonnie, Luck, you know, it's guys like that who keeps me fired up about the project, because, you know, I can say I love it all I want, but like AJ, tell everybody what you think of it here on this last little mile here.
Oh yeah, well, this has been just one fun thing to do, and you know, I mean, I just like the attitude that this is something we can do and we accomplish it, and I think to the number of people that tell me about all the plans they have that never get done.
True. Yes.
But we somehow get them done.
We get them done. I mean, I think, and I'm going to pat myself on the back just one time here, but Big Daddy Alex, who did get to do us a favor on one of her films, and he was in her comic books. Me and him used to wrestle together. He actually reprised his comic book role in real life, which was a hilarious scene that you and him did together. But one thing he told me to my face, and I hold this dear. This is not me really patting myself on the back, but this is something I've worked hard to get. He said, Kevin, people, like AJ just said, people talk about doing things. He said, but you do things.
Yep.
He said, if you say you're coming out with a film, you come out with a film. If you say you're coming out with a comic, you come out with a comic. And he said, and that's what sets you apart from everybody else. And I'm here to tell you, ever since he's told me that, I was like, oh, hell, now I got to live up to that. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to watch open my mouth, so I don't want to, you know, make sure I don't say nothing if I don't really mean it now, you know. So, but at the same time, it really made me feel good that, you know, all these years of doing all this hard work, 21 years working on this idea, that people take notice that you're putting in that kind of hard work, right. You know, and it really, having people like friends in your life that support you like that, and people, I couldn't do this without Meril and AJ. I'm here to tell you guys, this would not happen if it wasn't for these two buddies right here. It just wouldn't be here. I just couldn't have done it. And guys, we are here at the restaurant, and I guess we're going to say a blah, 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 blah. That's all, folks.
Hey.